There's something I need to tell you today, and I need you to listen carefully, because what I'm about to say may be exactly what your soul has waited years to hear. Perhaps you're watching this video right now with a knot in your chest. The kind of knot that never goes away. The kind that stays with you when you wake up at 3 in the morning, when you try to pray and the words just won't come out, when you sit in church surrounded by people singing and you feel like a stranger within your own faith. Perhaps you've already searched for that exact question late at night with the lights off, hoping no one would see your browsing history. Have I committed the unforgivable sin? Can God still forgive me? What if I went too far? And each answer you found only made things worse. More confusion, more fear, more verses thrown out of context, more voices telling you that maybe, just maybe, you are one of those people God has given up on. I want you to take a moment to breathe, because I'm going to tell you something that thousands of preachers should have told you years ago, but didn't. That fear you're feeling right now, that desperate, painful fear of having lost God forever, that fear in itself may be the clearest evidence that you have not committed the sin you so fear. I'll repeat it, but more slowly. The fact that you are afraid of losing God is proof that you haven't lost him. A heart that no longer cares, doesn't cry. A truly hardened heart doesn't search YouTube in the middle of the night for hope. The heart that has truly rejected the Holy Spirit doesn't tremble at the mere thought of being separated from him, but it trembles, and that changes everything. Before I continue, if this is already touching your heart, do me a small favor. Hit that subscribe button. Not for me, for you. Because this channel exists for moments exactly like this, and I want you to have more videos like this appearing for you when your soul needs air. Subscribe, activate the bell, and stay with me until the end of this video, because what comes next may be one of the most liberating things you'll hear this year. Now, let me take you inside your own mind for a moment, because I know what's going on there. You're lying in bed. The house is silent, and that thought returns. Again, what if God doesn't want me anymore? You try to pray, but it seems like the words hit the ceiling and bounce back. And then another thought comes. What if I blasphemed without realizing it? What if that day I got angry? What if I said that in my heart? What if that was the breaking point? You try to read the Bible, and the verses about judgment seem to shout louder than the verses about grace. You sing in church, but inside you there's a voice whispering, "You're a hypocrite. You don't belong here." You see other Christians happy, at peace, raising their hands, and you think, why don't I feel that? Why does it seem like there's a wall between me and God? And then comes the cruelest question of all, the question that keeps you awake at night. Is there still forgiveness for someone like me? I want you to know something. You are not alone. Millions of Christians out there carry exactly that weight. They smile on the outside. They go to church. They sing praises. But inside they are devastated. They live in fear. Fear that God has given up on them. Fear that that frightening passage in the Bible is about them. And the worst part is that nobody talks about it. Nobody sits down with them and says, hey, let me explain what this really means. So that's what I'm going to do here today with you. Because the problem is that over the years, they have created in their minds a completely distorted idea of what the unforgivable sin is. Look at all the things people confuse with blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. Some people believe that having a bad thought, one of those that appear out of nowhere, is the unforgivable sin. Others believe that feeling anger towards God in a moment of pain, in a moment of grief, in a moment when life has fallen apart, that would be the limit. Some people think that repeatedly falling into the same sin, that vice you try to abandon, but it comes back to that flaw that seems to never leave you alone. That would be proof that you've gone too far. Some people think that doubting, questioning, having questions about faith would be blasphemy. Some believe that experiencing spiritual coldness, that desolate feeling of nothingness when you pray, is evidence that the Spirit has abandoned you. Some believe that distancing oneself from the church for a while, going through a period of discouragement, temporarily losing faith, would be the fatal sin. And what a tragedy. Look how many people live in prison, chained, devastated inside, because of an interpretation that was never what Jesus meant. Good people, people who love God, people who cry while reading the Bible, people whose hearts ache when they hear worship music, people who are still searching, but who carry this invisible shadow saying, you're finished. God doesn't want you anymore. And that is not from God. This was never from God. Let me show you what really happened in that passage. When Jesus spoke about blasphemy against the Holy Spirit, he was in a very specific moment. He'd just performed a miracle. He'd freed someone from something terrible. Everyone was watching. It was as clear as day that it was the work of God. And the Pharisees, those religious leaders who studied the scriptures day and night, who knew God by heart, who saw the miracle happening before their eyes, looked at that and said with conviction, coldly, calculatingly, that's the work of the devil. Break. Can you feel the weight of this? They were not confused. They were not in doubt. They were not struggling with any sin. They were not broken. They were not searching. They were seeing God standing before them, doing what only God can do. And they were deliberately choosing to call it the work of evil. It was a calculated rejection, cold, deliberate, proud. And Jesus, looking at that kind of hardened heart, spoke about the unforgivable sin. Now answer me one thing. Does this look like you? There you are with a heavy heart, tears in your eyes, wanting to return to God, afraid you've lost. Him searching for hope at 2 a.m. in a YouTube video. Does this sound like a hard-hearted Pharisee telling Jesus to his face that he is the devil? No, it doesn't look anything alike. And that's where the turning point comes in that can change everything for you today. The heart that fears it has offended God is usually a heart that still cares about God. Read that again slowly. The heart that fears it has offended God is usually a heart that still cares about God, because a truly hardened heart does not fear, it does not cry, it does not seek, it does not ask, it does not care. A hardened heart goes on with life without looking back, without guilt, without weight, without that tightness in the chest when seeing a cross, when hearing a hymn, when remembering childhood in church. But you can feel it. You still feel it. And that is the presence of the Spirit. Think about it. Who puts that desire inside you to return to God? Who makes your heart ache when you think about being away from Him? Who brought you to this video today? It's not the devil. The devil doesn't lead you closer to God. It's not your flesh. Your flesh would love to leave you alone in sin. It is the Holy Spirit. That same Spirit you're so afraid you've offended. He's still calling you. He's bothering you. He's whispering, come back, I still want you. You are not being rejected. You are being pursued by love. Now, I need to be honest with you because true love doesn't hide the truth. Yes, there is a real danger in the spiritual life, but it's not the danger you've been taught to fear. The real danger isn't falling. The real danger is ceasing to care about falling. The real danger is not doubting. It's letting doubt turn into pride that refuses to seek. The real danger isn't feeling cold. It's loving the cold and never wanting warmth again. The hardening of the heart doesn't happen all at once. It's not a sin. It's a path. It's a road that a person chooses day after day, choice after choice, saying no to God every time He calls, until one day they no longer hear the call. Not because God stopped calling, but because they trained their heart not to respond anymore. That's the danger. And look how important that is. Those on this path don't realize it. Those on this path aren't afraid. Those on this path don't cry at night. Those on this path don't search for YouTube videos about forgiveness. You're not on that path. If you were, you wouldn't even be here. So let me give you some practical tips. Some things you can do the next time that fear comes. The first thing is stop. Literally stop. When the thought of condemnation comes, take a deep breath and say aloud, even if softly, this fear is not from God. God does not condemn me. God calls me. The second thing is learn the difference between condemnation and conviction. Condemnation says you're trash. You're beyond redemption. Give up. Conviction says you made a mistake here. But come, let's fix it together. I love you. Condemnation pushes you away from God. Conviction pulls you closer. If the feeling you have makes you want to run away from God, hide. Give up. That's not the Holy Spirit. That's the enemy using your fear. If the feeling makes you want to run to God, even while crying, even while ashamed, even while tired, that is the Spirit, and that is beautiful. The third thing is come back without pretending. You don't need fancy words. You don't need an elaborate prayer. You don't need to be clean before you go. Sit down, breathe, and talk to Him just as you are. Dirty, tired, angry, doubting, in tears, feeling nothing. She says, God, I don't know what to feel anymore, but I still want you, and ready. This is already prayer. This is already faith. This is already a return. God isn't expecting a clean version of you. He's expecting you. Whole, broken, real. The fourth thing is, get that idea out of your head that God is tired of you. Good parents never tire of their children. And God is the best father there is. You can fall 1,000 times. You can come back 1,000 times. And the 1,001st time you knock on His door, He will open it just as He opened it the first time. With the same love, with the same joy, with the same open arms, because His love doesn't work like human love. It has no limits. It has no quota. It has no expiration date. I want you to keep this in your heart today. The simple fact that you've made it this far in this video, the simple fact that you're still searching, still wanting, still thirsting for Him, this is evidence that He is still calling you. Lost people don't search. Dead people don't get thirsty. People rejected by God don't feel that hunger in their hearts that you feel. You feel it because he is still there. He never left. It was you who felt distant, but he didn't move. Perhaps you've spent years carrying a chain that was never yours. Perhaps you've lived in fear of a sin you never committed. Perhaps you've cried whole nights thinking God had turned his back on you. But today, right now, at this moment, I want you to hear this as if God himself were speaking. Son, daughter, I never left you. I'm here. I've always been. Come home. The door never closed. And maybe that's exactly it. Maybe that feeling you have now, that warmth in your chest, those tears that want to fall, it's him embracing you, telling you that you don't need to be afraid anymore. You are not condemned. You are being called. Before you close this video, do me 3 small favors. First, write a simple prayer in the comments below. It can be just, Jesus, I still want to come back to you, or Holy Spirit, soften my heart. It doesn't need to be beautiful. It needs to be real. And when you write, know that this prayer isn't falling on deaf ears. People are reading it. People are praying for you. And most importantly, God is listening. Second, leave a like on this video. It may seem silly, but each like helps this video reach another weary soul, another person who is lying in bed right now thinking that God has given up on them. Your like can literally be the door that God uses to reach someone else today. And the third thing, a video is appearing on your screen right now. I made it thinking specifically of you, of those who have watched this far, of those who need the next step in this liberation. Click on it. Stay with me, because your soul deserves another hour of peace tonight. And remember, you haven't gone too far. You are not alone. You are not lost. You are being found. And perhaps, just perhaps, the fact that you are still seeking God is the most beautiful evidence that he is still right now, with all the tenderness of heaven, calling your name. Go back home. He is waiting.